Hi, I am going to record a short video for the month of February for the astrology. I know I'm a little bit late, but Mercury's retrograde now, Saturn and the Sun are conjunct today. There's a lot going on. This was a very big week. I just wanted to drop in and talk to you guys all about it. And I did go over the month of February in the context of the entire year in my 2022 year ahead video, but this is a little more, now that we're here, I'm getting a bit more of a granular sense of, wow, what's actually happening. So I'm actually going to share my screen and show you. Let me just move this over here. All right. So in January, we spent the month, we spent the entire month becoming congruent. And I explored that word a lot. Like what that meant was that there were certain things that we needed to become more responsible for ourselves. Like it was, for me, it felt like I was like listening to my intuition and actually taking action on it. Like there was no more rebellion against myself. And I was able to actually take a sobering and serious look at my life and see it, like actually really see it and take action toward a bigger picture level of sustainability. So this was making changes in the way I spend my money, making changes in my health dramatically, doing different things for my body, and also having pretty hard conversations in my relationships, just like exploring what's next for my life and for the world, from the world that I live in. So now we reach February, and this first week of February, we started out with that new moon, and that I think Monday for me felt like kind of quiet. Actually, Monday and Tuesday were those new moon energies in Aquarius. It was kind of like, all right, I see all of this, so what am I going to do with that? Like, interesting. I'm having a dream for myself. I know that the dream I'm having for myself is one that will change my life and actually shift the world that I live in. But how is that going to happen? So then when the moon moved into Pisces, things started to get really weird. We knew that they would. We knew that when the moon moved into Pisces, it would cross over Jupiter, which Jupiter's in Pisces now. Jupiter in Pisces is helping us to totally open up to all of the past, present, future timeline possibilities. It's a time for opening up the intuition. It's a time for connecting to our like intuitive and spiritual gifts. It's a time for just understanding that all of life's experiences are a part of a bigger tapestry and have a ripple effect on everything around us. So with Jupiter moving through Pisces for a good amount of months this year, that's what we're opening up to. And while the moon was there, or while Jupiter, yeah, I think I'm saying this right. When the moon was there over Wednesday and Thursday, it crossed over Jupiter and gave us like a punctuated, it like showed us a door, basically showed us a door to an opportunity and was like, hey, maybe you had this dream last year even. Hey, do you remember that dream? Maybe you had this dream since you were younger. Hey, did you remember that dream? What if you actually did it? Like, what if I told you it was right there? So we kind of entertained this like, wow, okay, maybe there's a door that I could step through. That would mean a lot of change for my life. So I'm not really sure, but it's nice to entertain. And then Thursday, the moon moved and went together with Neptune. Neptune's been there for a while. Neptune's changing our spiritual story. Neptune is helping us to tap into the way that we connect with our intuition, the way that we make our decisions from a more soul embodied, like hell yes, hell no. Like, how do you know that something resonates with you? How do you know that making a decision from excitement is going to be the right decision? Oftentimes when we're presented with an exciting opportunity or a change, we are creatures that usually a lot of times value comfort over change. And so even though that opportunity might feel exciting, we might opt for the comfortable thing of not changing rather than saying yes to the opportunity. But what I found is oftentimes those opportunities are actually just the first part of the window. Once we get an opportunity for change, we can either take it immediately and like be the creator of the next part of the story, which means that we proactively make changes in our lives. We don't wait for things to happen, so we have to make changes. Like, for example, let's pretend that you are thinking about getting a new car. Your car is working okay, but all of a sudden you start thinking about getting a new car, or you think about applying for a new job, or you think about moving, or you think about doing something for your health. You get this like inspired idea, and you're like, yeah, I'd have to change a lot of stuff though. I'm not sure I could afford it. Yeah, that would be pretty disruptive. Yeah, it sounds like a really exciting idea, but I don't know. So we put the idea on the back burner. What happens though, when we have the idea, we start looking at our current job, our current body, our current house, like whatever, our current car. We start looking at our current car from the lens of, well, I had an idea about something new, and now I'm thinking of this thing that I used to be comfortable with as the old thing. And so over time, the comfortableness starts turning into like picking things apart. Like then you find reasons why your job isn't your best job, or you could even do this to your partner. You could be like, maybe I need a new relationship. So you start picking apart your partner or your house or whatever. And the thing that was comfortable is now becoming less comfortable. And so that process just continues to get worse and worse and worse, depending on your threshold, right? There's like a threshold for resentment or a threshold for dissatisfaction. Everyone has a different threshold. Some people's thresholds, they're so avoidant of change that they wait all the way to the very end of the threshold, and their energy for that thing is so depleted, their gratitude for it is so minimized, that the energy for that thing is so weak that it can't sustain the thing anymore that was comfortable, and it's so uncomfortable now that it breaks. You get fired, you get evicted, you hurt your body gets sick, your partner blows up and breaks up with you instead, like, or whatever. Like the change at the end of the threshold, that change was going to happen anyway. It's just what part of the spectrum is your decision point to make the change. So this week, I actually believe that we were all presented with some sort of dream. If we're not dreaming, if we're not entertaining excitement of growth, of contribution, of changes we could make that are more aligned, if we're not entertaining those things and we didn't open up to those opportunities, it's not that the opportunity is left, it's just that we chose something else. And very quickly after, like, so today, now the moon's in Aries, and today the sun and Saturn are conjunct, and basically the sun and Saturn are saying, hey, get with the program. This situation that you thought was comfortable is not. There is something that's not okay. And it's time for you to see it and look at it and make some decisions, because this isn't going to get better all by itself. You need to do something about this. And so I would imagine it's something to that effect, right? It's like a very serious, like, wake up call, not wake up call. It's like your conscious mind is like, oh, I get it. Okay. If we had an exciting opportunity presented to us that would have presented some sort of change this week, and then we are experiencing something sobering today on Friday, which is, what is the day? Today's the 4th. Then we've got a lot to think about, right? Like, so now we're going to measure it, and we're going to try and bring our head and heart into alignment on an issue. Perfect timing to bring head and heart into alignment, because basically that's happening this month. So as February progresses, the next thing we're going to feel is on February 11th. There'll be things before that, but just know that everything that happens between now and the 11th is you're mentally weighing the pros and cons. Like today is an Aries moon day. So whatever you're thinking about today while the moon's in Aries, you're pretty much claiming something. You're claiming. So claim something empowering, claim something that you actually want. Claim if something's not working well, claim that something is healed or comes into congruence or comes into health. Like if something's not working, claim that you're willing to do whatever it takes to find a working solution for that. Make sure that you actively step into your creator ability, because this year's not going to let you go. If you're alive right now, you've signed up and volunteered for this year. And I'm not trying to like freak you out. I'm just trying to remind you how powerful you are. And I've been called to speak to whoever listens to me. I don't care how many people listen to me, but whoever is listening to me, I've been called to speak to you. And I'm actively doing this in my own life. I am writing about astrology every day. I'm paying attention every day because I'm feeling the miracles. I am in the miracle zone. I'm feeling how the synchronicities of life and the inspiration of opportunities and how I can ride that spectrum of change in a very graceful way. And I am prepared perfectly to handle these changes and to address what needs to be addressed in real time. Things that are jarring are happening for me. And it's not like I'm avoiding like hard things or hard conversations or hard emotions. I'm having them. And I also understand that I'm supposed to be. It's all within the context of what is unfolding for us right now. So I think between now and the 11th, we're having that whole conversation inside of us. And by the 11th, we're going to say something that will put an end to something. We're going to be verbally communicating or somehow actively communicating that this is ending now because I have claimed something else. And these are the reasons why, and this is what I am going to be growing from this point forward. That's going to happen on the 11th. So be clear. There will be either, we could sit in two different roles. People, you could be sitting back and like, oh, I'm not going to make change because I don't want to make the wrong decision, blah, 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 blah. The wrong decision, the right decision, whatever. We're trying to be mindful. We're all trying to be conscientious people. I think not all of us are, but if you're watching this video, you probably resonate. I'm trying to be a conscientious person, and I attract people who are very similar to me in those values. So if conscientiousness is one of your values, you probably stall on making big decisions because you're trying to be conscientious about all parties involved. So this week you could be very conscientiously weighing the pros and cons and trying to make sure that it's a win for everyone involved and putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Just know that the right decision for everyone is probably the most inspired decision, the one that will feel the best. It feels like a hell yes or a hell no. And that's what congruence really is. This picture of this man and woman in this like embrace, that is not literally a man and a woman. It is like a container of body, I feel you. Mind, I see you. Emotions, I feel you. I've got you. I'm understanding all parts of me. And when all parts of me are in a hell yes sensation, I know what that feels like. If there's a part of me that's like trying to rationalize all this, like we're not all on the same page then. And so we're going to grok this a little bit more. And so that's a conversation or something. You could either be the initiator of that conversation, is what I'm trying to say, or you can let the universe do it to you. And this will mean that there will be people telling you stuff that is like, this is not okay. These are my boundaries. This is over. Or I'm going to be doing this now. I'm choosing this for my life now. You can either come with me or not. But I need to claim this for what I'm doing. So just know that that is coming. And because we know it's coming, we can be ready for it. We could be prepared in our hearts for it. We don't know what the thing is sometimes, but we at least know that this is part of it's a piece of the puzzle that's bringing us into the greatest sustainability and security in our body, in our life as possible. The next thing that's going to happen is Venus and Mars will conjunct in Capricorn. That means that like clicking in sensation the hell yes, the somatic hell yes will be in place. And these two parts of us are going to do a dance for about a month, very close together. So everything that happens from that congruent hell yes is going to materialize, because very, very powerful polarities are coming together. And that's when polarities come together, that's when things are seeded. That's when things happen. That's when connection occurs. And so the next part is when Mercury moves into Aquarius. Mercury was in Aquarius, then went back to Capricorn. Now moving forward again, we've laid down some lines. We've set some tangible boundaries. We are building something with certainty and discipline. Now, when Mercury connects into Aquarius, we're going to understand how all of our decisions are a part of the fabric, that we are everything we choose for ourselves is impacting everyone in our lives and rippling well beyond them, because that's affecting everyone in their lives. And we are all doing this with each other. So every decision that everyone makes is, in essence, flavoring the fabric that we all live in. So when Mercury moves into Aquarius, we're all going to be feeling that. And it could feel really good. It could also feel like, wow, I need to take a far greater responsibility for my life and for the ripple effect I'm experiencing from other people's decisions. Like this level of responsibility, not from obligation or heaviness, but from an understanding of our true interconnected experience. That's what's available to us. Whether or not everyone will take it, that's up to them. Like it's not I have a lot of snarky things I could say right now, but I'm not going to, because I'm not a snarky person. It's just that I'm really on fire today, probably because of this Aries thing. And I'm like really seeing the importance of claiming and like having compassion for the human experience, and having compassion for the freaking like lack of understanding of the human experience that I sometimes witness, but I'm like seeing it blossom more and more and more. So I'm very, very, very hopeful and willing to speak and show up and say whatever I need to say to continue the opening and the unfolding. So when the full moon happens in Leo, we are all going to feel the polarity of the fact that we are all individual people having an individual life that's very unique, and we have special preferences. We have special ways that we want to experience our life. We desire to be in this life in a very specific and unique way. And because we all have that, and because owning that special way is an important ingredient in the way that the tapestry of humanity and connection flows, that's like, I think that will be like, boom, and it will just be understood on a certain level. I don't know at what level people will understand this, but I feel that there'll be a coming home to the heart of how the one is so important to the all. The next thing will be that the sun will move into Pisces. This is going to amplify that intuitive connection right before the 222 portal thing that everyone's going to be talking about. There's going to be a million fucking memes. There's going to be all this 222 stuff. Hey, listen, the most important thing to know about all the 222 stuff is that everyone cares about it. Like most people find series of numbers interesting, and like even people that don't pay attention to any of it, they find it like, oh wow, like it causes you to pause. The thing that's cool about that day is that as a collective, we're all going to think it's important, and we're all going to make our own meanings about it, and we're all going to be opening up spiritually and intuitively to what that means. So as we all open up with the sun in Pisces, and then we all kind of point our focused attention to our interconnected reality, I believe there's an opportunity for the grid to go live, the mycelium that connects all of our consciousnesses together to kind of click into place like the 100th monkey. I feel that there will be enough people on the planet connecting to the synchronicity of the 222s that somehow feeling that connection on some level just sort of finishes the rest of the bridge to the field of connection that many of us already experience. So many of the people that I speak to, so many of my close friends and family, we already understand that there's a web of connection that we're all a part of. it's just that the bridge to that field of connection is not always super strong. Like we don't always know exactly how to get there. I go back and forth in that place all the time when I'm doing readings. So that bridge is really, really strong for me. And that's the bridge I use to communicate about this stuff with. And I think that what's going to happen by 222, whatever, however many twos it is that it will be uncannily easy to connect. Like most of the population will feel it because of the kind of specialness of those numbers. Because everyone is sort of doing it and connecting, it'll just light up. So I think that is something that's available to us, and it will probably happen whether we're paying attention to it or not, because it's just, there's a momentum to energy. So then finally, Venus, Mars, and Moon, the Moon will conjunct with Venus and Mars in Capricorn, and it'll just be like a confirmation of some sort of like commitment that we're ready to make for our life. And I'm just gonna, because listen, I don't know if I'll be like, I don't know exactly what's going to be happening in my life around the beginning of March, because I'm already feeling dramatic changes on the horizon line. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about March right now. Life draws a line and we fully commit to stepping over it, or we commit to stepping fully over it, whatever. There's going to be a huge commitment moment right in the very first week of March. There's a lot to that first week. The sun is going to come together with Jupiter. So that little burst of opportunity that we saw on Wednesday when the moon crossed Jupiter, imagine that, but times like the sun. Okay. When the moon crosses something, it's very different than when the sun crosses something. So just imagine that whatever you experienced on Wednesday, the moon is going to do that, or the sun is going to do that on the 4th. There'll be a new moon in Pisces. So a new dream for our interconnected grid existence. Venus and Mars and Pluto will conjunct on the 2nd. Okay, Mercury is going to conjunct on Saturn. Okay, first of all, blah, blah, blah. First of all, we're going to say Mercury conjunct Saturn is, if we said we're going to stop something when Mercury crossed on the 11th of February, when it crossed Pluto, we said we're going to stop something. Mercury is, and now I'm committing to this. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm committing to this. I'm committing to this change. This is over. Now I'm committing to this. This is the structure I'm committing to. So day 1, the commitment. Day 2, the physical commitment. Like I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I am stepping over the line. There's no going back. The day 2 also, and I'm planting a seed for me to trust my intuition from this point forward, to trust this congruence, to have my back on this thing. Then the sun conjuncts Jupiter, and the materialization of the opportunity is present, is felt, is expanded. And then we got Venus and Mars entering Aquarius together. That will be us entering into literally a new world, like a new experience of reality altogether. So I'm telling you this right now because I'm not really sure in that first, I mean, I would have to definitely record something like at the end of February. I'm speaking out loud, but whatever. Also, I'm writing about the astrology every day. That is something I'm committed to. If this is a ride that you'd like to go on with me every single day, right now I'm posting for free on my website, lunation.live. There's a little calendar. You just click on the day. You can look at all the dates of January, but literally every single day there's a astrology post on my website where I talk about the progression, because I'm going over the broad strokes, but like every day there's a different piece to this. And if we just move consciously with those movements, it doesn't have to feel so chaotic and so dramatic and so disruptive. Like things could still happen that are a little disruptive, but you could actually be in the driver's seat of making those decisions rather than things happening to you. There's people where all these things are always happening to them. That's like that's a choice. Letting things happen to you is a choice. That means that perhaps you value the comforts of not changing more than you value proactively changing. Perfectly valid experience, and things are going to change. So things will happen to you. Perfectly fine. Just don't complain about it. You can tell I have a lot of people that I love so much in my life. Like And I just wish everyone would pay attention to astrology so that they can understand that they're powerfully making decisions with how they maneuver through their life. If you're actively participating with life and acting from inspiration, you're the proactive person. You're in the driver's seat. You're deciding from a resourced place what's most energized for you to choose to do, not from a place of lack, or not from a place of being forced, or not from a place of surprise or emergency. You're actually witnessing the opportunities as they come, and you're feeling that like spaciousness inside of you to make the decision on your own terms. And then you get to say yes rather than having to make the change. It's a huge difference. And I live my life this way and it feels so good. And I just want to shake, I want to shake everyone and say, this is what life could be like. Please pay attention. Sorry, like, this is Aries. I don't know if I've ever really recorded videos with Moon and Aries before, but I'm pretty amped up, apparently. So anyways, if you want to follow along, my website's lunation.live. I write about astrology every day. You go to the calendar on the main page, you click on the day, it's right there. And because I feel like people don't like social media right now. People are not like, you're probably not going to catch it. You might not even watch this video unless, like, I don't know, it like shows up like 5 times in your mailbox or something, or wherever. I don't know. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm like, I definitely seem like I'm feeling some emotions that I don't usually feel. And it's a little bit intense. And I usually am like super like la la la. So it's a little interesting for me to reflect on. But well, anyway, so this is my astrology for February. I talk about it more in the 2021 or the 2022 year ahead video, and I'm talking every day about what's going on. So tune in, please subscribe. I'll probably post something for the 12 signs. Maybe, I think I will, but I don't know when, and I don't know if I will for sure, but I did want to make this video because I'm like, everyone, this is what's happening. Oh my God. Like, are you guys like, hey, this is happening. It's happening. All right. I am so grateful that you watched this video. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.